Come on. Psst. Come on.
Huh?
I'm alive.
Are you?
Yeah. You good. You good. I'm just letting you know. How's everyone doing? All right, we're going to let a few more people get in here, then we're going to get started. Yeah, sorry about that. Something weird went on. So here we go. So we're all here to discuss Jay-Z's recent performance where he brought up gentrifying your own hood in a new freestyle at the Webster Hall. He was having the B-Sides 2 concert. And in that concert, he spat some lyrics referring to Nipsey Hussle, the late Nipsey Hussle, and how, you know, they were gentrifying their own hood. So he said, I'm just going to go through the lyrics and then we're going to go from there. He says, gentrify your own hood before these people do it. Claim eminent domain and have your people move in. That's a small glimpse into what Nipsey was doing. And for anybody still confused as to what he was doing. The neighborhood designed to keep us trapped. They redlined it so property decline if you live by blacks. They depressed the assets to take the property back. It's a ruthless but a genius plan. In fact, now we're fighting over scraps. So this is what we're going to cover right here, this chunk of lyrics, and we're going to break it down. So let's just begin here. All right, so we're going to look at a little video here to explain gentrification, just for people that don't know what gentrification is. And we're going to get into this video right here.
All over America, neighborhoods are changing. Older places are becoming revitalized, redeveloped. There's probably one close to you. This is known as gentrification, renovating or improving an area to raise its value to middle-class standards. Now, the process can take a while, but it'll create new houses, trendy restaurants, hip coffee shops, and it'll increase property value. What's not to love? Well, for many residents, it's not so great. With the process of values going up and the lack of affordable housing and the inability to keep up with the increasing cost to live, it'll eventually displace many lower-income families. Most often damaged by this process, minority groups. See, for many, urban renewal, it can mean minority removal, and there are potentially more negative outcomes for existing residents than benefits.
All right, so we're going to stop right there. As you've seen in the video, they said that you come into the neighborhood, you revitalize the neighborhood, and in doing so, you make it so that the people that's originally in the neighborhood can't live there anymore due to the increase in property value. So this is how I don't understand Jay-Z being such an intelligent person. He doesn't understand how he doesn't understand how this doesn't help the so-called people that he claims to represent, which all his virtue signaling that he does with the Black Lives Matters, and what his wife does with HBCUs that she's seen at Coachella and all these things. How can he not understand that if you say you're going to gentrify your own hood before these other people do it? How is that any better? It's actually worse in my eyes. And let me be clear. I have no problem with people making money. I am pro people, you know what I'm saying, especially black people, so-called black people making money. But the problem is with this, you can't on one hand say you're for the people in the hood, but then you claim to want to come in and do the exact same thing when he say those other people. Let's just assume, but we know who he's talking about. He's talking about white folks. So he's saying what we're going to do is we're going to do it this terrible. Let's just go back to his lyrics again. Let's just go back. We're going to take our time tonight. I'm in no rush because I want to make sure we get this right. And his words, now I'm going to just use his words. He says right here, let me highlight this. Oh, hold on. Let me just highlight this right quick. He said right here, and I'm going strictly off his words. He said it is a ruthless but a genius plan. So he's okay with doing a ruthless but genius plan on his own people in the sake of saying, well, at least white folks didn't do it to you. This is what he's saying. And like someone said in the comments, he's clout chasing off the late Nipsey's Hussle name because I'm going to be honest with you. Me and my man E-Class, we was chopping it up. And before these lyrics even came out, I had told him about an article I came across on Forbes. And this was before Nipsey Hussle died, and we're going to look at it tonight later on. And I was like, hey, do you realize what was going on with, you know what I'm saying, Nipsey Hussle property that he bought in Crenshaw? And we realized that it was, I pointed out to him that it was gentrification. And I think that Jay-Z, being the intelligent person he is, he came out and was getting in front of this before everybody looked and saw what was really going on. Hold on. All right, so let's stop right there. I'm going to go through this comments. And Shantae, she brings up something. She said, I don't think Jay meant for the black people to literally gentrify their hoods. But basically, he was saying to invest in your hoods before the white Jews come in and kick out and make it affordable. No, that's not how gentrification works. And for someone that made a living and made a name for himself as the best, and these are not my words, but overall people say he's one of the best lyricists. He chose those words correctly. He chose those words because that's exactly what they're doing. As the video says, when you gentrify, it has more harm than good. And that's why I wanted to make sure I laid this out perfectly, because I knew people were going to take that angle. That, he really wasn't saying that, or he really went, no, we're not going there. He said exactly, let's go through the lyrics again. He said, gentrify your own hood before these people can do it. That's what this man said. And then he says, claim eminent domain to have people move in. And we're gonna get into eminent domain too in this conversation. And like I said, this is gonna be a conversation because we're gonna break down these lyrics and see the mindset of where Jay-Z coming from. And Jay-Z always has this mentality. Because let's be honest, Jay-Z had this mentality of, let me sell my people crack because somebody's going to sell it to them. So they might as well get it from me. So it's the same thing. It's the same mentality. Let me gentrify the hood because somebody's going to do it. It might as well be me that gentrified the hood. And like I said, and I know, I want to say people right now, Let's put our thinking caps on, and and let's keep our fandom outside. Leave it at the door when we come in here, because we're gonna have a real conversation tonight about elitism, how elites roll, and how they're really not talking to us. These comments that Jay-Z made were not meant for our consumption, the average man's consumption. He was speaking to other elites. And like I said, let's go through the lyrics again. So, with that said, so people might want to say, well, hold on. Let me go down and make sure everybody let's see, make sure I didn't miss any. He said the Jews already brought up all of NYC and Italianos. Okay. Let me make sure. Right. Okay. I'm just going through these. I think I had a good. Hold on, Graham. Let me get the grand finale. He said, Moe, you may be missing the point. This only calls for black people to step their game up and make more money. You can't have black empowerment with poor property values. It's counterintuitive. But here's the problem, grand finale. If you're willing to say, okay, I'm willing to make money off of black people's suffering for the greater good, you're no better than the people that you're saying let's beat to the punch. That's what he said in his lyrics. He said let's do it to them before they do it. So he has no concern about how these people are going to be displaced. And later on we're going to see the effects of gentrification. And you have to realize these people are in these poor neighborhoods for a reason, because this is the only place they can afford to go. And you're going to force them out of that for gain? That's fine. If you want to be a capitalist, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But my problem is you can't talk out of both sides of your mouth. You can't say I'm for the people, but then I'm for exploiting the people. That's where the problem comes in at. Let me just read through some more comments before I go to my next point. All right. Right. She said, damn, I forgot about the eminent domain line, shaking my head. My thinking cap is on, LOL. I'm not even a Jay-Z fan. I just thought he misspoke. No. That's why I said everybody, and that's what you're going to realize here. The media took one little chunk of this verse when he said so much and just clung on the gentrification line, and we even saw it in a lot of shows where he just misspoke. Or let me tell you what Jay-Z really meant. That's what everybody was saying online. Let me tell you, and that's why I took my time. I didn't jump out the window on this video. That's why I really took my time before I made this video, because I'm going to break it all the way down. We're going to look at gentrification, what it is, what eminent domain is. We're going to look at the effects of gentrification, how it displaces people, and then we're going to look at the people that moves into these communities. And we're going to look at why now. Why now? So we're going to break this all down. So just for people that think this is Jay-Z, hold on, let me read through this. Also, okay, black empowerment with no jobs or loans being given. It's not our right. It's not our system. All right, let me make sure. All right, so we're gonna think. Okay, some people are gonna say, "Well, okay, I'm going away from the comments, and we're gonna get back into part 2 of this." Now we know clearly what gentrification is, because, like I said, I'm gonna use these very simple videos to explain some of these things that we're gonna talk about tonight. And let's just be clear: this is not Jay-Z's first rodeo when it comes to gentrification. Let's be clear on that. He did the same thing when he brought the Barclays and the Brooklyn Nets to Brooklyn. They promised the community new jobs and better improvement in the neighborhood, but it displaced a bunch of people. Don't believe me? We're gonna look at an article. And this is from the Village Voice. Jay-Z sold out Brooklyn by Mr. Philip Milnar. And we're not going to go through the whole thing. But we're just going to... Okay. I'm going to get down here to this. He said the objections with the Barclays Center have been well reported on. The stadium was finagled into existence against local opposition, so the people were against this. By using eminent domain claim, are we starting to see a system here? Like I said, this is nothing new. This is nothing new. They broke rules in the NBA. They bent rules, allowed Jay-Z to become owner. Less than 1%. I think it was like 0.25% that he owned the Brooklyn Nets. So just so he could be used as a face, a black face, to come into Brooklyn. That's why I said, yeah, you remember, right? We're gonna go deep into this. Now let's be clear. I have nothing in my heart against Jay-Z, but anytime somebody said they're for the people, but then turn around and exploit the people, I have to call you on it. Let's go on down. It said the project hasn't yet come through on the promise to create local jobs. It says the introduction of waves of concerts and basketball game goers will add to the traffic congestion in the area. It said after quickly reneging on the claim that super architect Frank Gehry would design the arena, it was finally formed. Its final form could be kindly characterized as a gigantic rust bucket. So they brought an eyesore to this neighborhood. They promised jobs that they didn't deliver on, and Jay-Z was the front man for this, and he did it for pennies. Now I say I know you saying where he's. What I mean by pennies, if we're talking about the real owner of the Brooklyn Nets, Jay-Z did it for pennies because he had within less than 1%. I think it was 1/4% he had. 1/4%. But they set him on the sideline every night like he owned the Nets. And that's why I said this is very harmful. This is very harmful because they bring people in that look like us to do these dirty deeds. So what Jay-Z realized was, hey, let me not be the puppet. Let me take advantage of these people myself. Let me get a group of boule Negroes together, pull our money together, and we'll exploit these people. At least they'll be their own kind doing it to them. So I just wanted to point that out, that this is not new. All this is not new, but we're about to get into the meat of it. Before we do, I just want to go back to the comments right quick to make sure I'm not missing anything. Like I said, Jazz Smooth said Jay fans are worse than LeBron. Yes. You know, they're pretty much the same people. They want to only hear what they want to hear. They don't want to believe stats. They don't want to believe facts. But tonight we're going to present facts here because that's what I'm about, presenting facts. All right, so Shampoo said Jay-Z blackface. I ain't talking about college fraternity. Right. Okay, Grand Finale said, I'm all capital letters for gentrification. The alternative is high crimes and poor housing. You would rather see blacks live like this? Question. Where would you want to see kids grow up? So, Grand Finale, you make a false narrative here. Because why couldn't Jay-Z bring that same attention to these high crime areas and do revitalization, not gentrification? So you come in and say, okay, we're going to have increased police presence to help the children get to school safely, help old ladies get down the street safely, and we're going to revitalize the area and create low-income housing, affordable housing that's beautified. Why can't you do that? I mean, why can't it be a win-win for the people that live in the community and for the investors? Instead of that, oh, well, you just said here, you says the alternative is high crime and poor housing. Where are these poor people going to go? They were in these poor neighborhoods because that's the only place they had to go. Now you displace them from this poor neighborhood, and they're going to go to even worse means where you have living out of hotels, living in their cars. These are real things that people go through because they've been displaced. Their jobs are still in the area, but they have no affordable housing in the area. And we're going to get there. So you're saying, like, you making it seem like, oh, they're coming in and making the neighborhood better. Yes, they are making the neighborhood better, but not for the people living there, because the people living there won't be able to afford to live there. So, I mean, I think that's a false narrative. Oh, OC said Jay is as Spike Lee is to the Knicks, right? He's a mascot. Okay. We're doing good on time. Right. Sleeping in trains. It's a thing called the working homeless. This is a real thing. People tend to think that people, when they say homeless, they think of people that's living on the street, that have mental health issues or drug addiction issues. No, we have a thing called the working homeless, where people live in their cars, take showers at the gym, and we're going to get into that later. We're going to see the effects of gentrification, but like I said, I just went to this article as just background. All right, so now we're about to get to the meat and potatoes. This is this article I referred to earlier that I was chopping up with me and my man E-Class. Even before Jay-Z came out with this song. Forbes magazine. Move this over. Forbes. Inside, and this is before this came out February 20th, 2019, and this is before the late Nipsey Hussle passed away. And like I said, I'm going to be very respectful because this man, is passed away, but I also had to lay the facts out of what was really going on in Crenshaw. It says inside Nipsey Hussle's blueprint. That's an interesting word to use to the Jay-Z fans out there. To become a real estate mogul. All right, so we're gonna go down here. All right, so I'm just going to go through this. It says a tattered stretch of West Slauson Avenue just off Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles isn't the first place you would expect to see a Cadillac Escalade roll up and deliver a Grammy-nominated musician. At a tiny strip mall on the south side of the street, storefronts including an off-brand taco joint. I want you to remember these things. An off-brand taco joint, a Boost Mobile outlet, and an accountant's office advertising same-day tax refunds advances up to $6,000. Let's go on down. It said this is where Nipsey Hussle decided to spend a recent Friday morning, and for a good reason. His Marathon clothing store, which peddles Crenshaw hoodies alongside his music, occupies the corner of the L-shaped plaza, and we all aware of this. In the recent events, we all are aware of this location. because this is where this black man met his demise. Okay, we're gonna go down. It says here, change is coming to Crenshaw, and Nipsey is aiming to be on its bleeding edge. This month, Nipsey and their business partner Dave Gross swooped in to pay a couple $1 million for the plaza. Within 18 months or so, they'll knock everything down and rebuild it as a 6-story residential. Hold on. I want to rebuild it. They're gonna knock down everything and rebuild it as a 6-story residential building atop of a commercial plaza where a revamped Marathon store will be the anchor tenant. So they're not, see, that's what I'm saying. This was purely gentrification. They weren't going to keep this taco stand there. They weren't going to keep the Boost mobile store there. They weren't going to keep the tax the accountant there. They're going to knock everything down and build a commercial plaza with the 6 stories of residential buildings atop of it. Right. So we about to get to the meat. In the meantime, a light rail line is rising to link Crenshaw, which crucially qualifies as a tax advantage opportunity zone, to Los Angeles International Airport and other key nodes of sprawling Southern California. So this is about, if you know anything about real estate, it's about location, location, location. And now we're really about to go down the deep end now. You may ask, what is a tax advantage opportunity zone? Now here we go. We're going to get into that. And we're going to stay right here for a minute, but okay, okay. For those you asking what a tax what an opportunity zone is. Hold on, let's go back for a minute. We skipped something here. For those that want to know what eminent domain is, let's watch this video. Getting a little out of order, but that's okay.
Eminent domain. The power of the state to take private property for public use for the payment of just compensation. This is going on today in Anna, Texas. Let me tell you our story. Luscombe family heritage dates back to the 1800s, with the original Luscombe homestead being built in Anna in 1913. The family grew with the land, and the Luscombe farm became...
All right, let's listen to that one more time, because I want y'all to catch this about eminent domain. And then we're going to go, before we go into what opportunity zones are. Let's watch this one more time. It's very short.
Eminent domain.
Listen closely.
The power of the state to take private property for public use for
the power of the state. The government. Jay-Z is going to use the government to take black people homes for them, black people business for them. This is what the man said. Let's go back. Hold on. Like I said, we got time. We got all the time in the world. Because I want you to really get what he just said here. Let's go back to his article. Just for the people you're saying coming in late, let's go back here. Claim eminent domain and have your people move in. This is what this man said. He's going to use the government to put black people out of their homes and businesses for his profit. And you're supposed to feel good about it because at least he's doing it and not a white man. Oh. And everybody's running around, oh, Jay-Z dropped bars. Oh, man, he dropping jewels. Yeah, if you're elite. If you're in the middle class and poor working class and in poverty, he's going to use the government. Let's go. One more time. Hold on. We got to go back and listen to this video one more time. This is for the people showing up. This is what eminent domain is. This is what Jay-Z is going to use to get you out of your home.
Eminent domain. The power of the state to take private property for public use for the payment of just compensation. This is going on today in Anna, Texas.
Right. So that's what they're going to do. That's what he said. All right. And this is what we saw from the article. This is what Mr. Nipsey Hussle was doing to become a real estate mogul, according to the Forbes article. After this video, I want all you people to share this video with your friends and the Jay-Z lovers out there. And you're saying, everybody says, oh, no, that's not what he meant. I want you to share this with him so we can see here. Let's go back here to the Nipsey Hussle article. Like I said, I came prepared tonight. Let's scroll up. Scroll up. As we seen here, what did he say? Right here. Let me highlight this, just so people can see, just in case they're not paying attention. Within 18 months or so, they'll knock everything down and rebuild a 6-story residential building on top of a commercial plaza. So they're not gonna keep the hood. Taco stand gotta go. Tax stand gotta go. Mobile phone gotta go. This is gentrification, folks. This is what it looks like. All right, so let me go back to the comments before we get into what opportunity zones are. Let me see. I'm going down. And let me be clear. I see Grand Finale still talking about revitalization and his waste of time. My issue is not with gentrification per se. If you're going to make money, that's fine. If you're going to be for the people, that's fine. But you can't do both. You can't say you're for gentrification and for the people at the same time. Those two things conflict. It doesn't work like that. And that's my whole issue with this whole situation. If Jay-Z wanted to be a capitalist, make money, that's fine. But then you can't come out and say, oh, I'm for the people and I'm representing the people. I do it for the hood. When you're putting the hood out of their homes and you're destroying the hood. So, let me go back, make sure there's no comments. Somebody said F Jay-Z. All right. Yeah. Jay-Z kept the sheep entertained while he was talking to the bot. Right. Who he was talking to in this verse was not Joe Blow, working a 9 to 5. And the thing is we're going to get to why timing is everything too, and why this was poorly timed. We're going to get there. Right, I ain't laughing. I laugh to keep from crying, Shampoo. I laugh to keep from crying. Right. Shampoo, you own it. They'll keep the marathon store to keep it lit and have white folks feel cool about Nipsey's marathon. Right. That's why they're going to keep it as the anchor store. Right. So now okay, extortion. Okay. Now we about to get in here. So now you may be asking, This line right here is going to be crucial right here. Two things here. It says, in the meantime, a light rail line is rising to link Crenshaw, which crucially qualifies as a tax advantage opportunity zone. So we may ask what that is. These opportunity zones was created by Donald Trump's 2000 tax plan. Now this is where it gets interesting, folks. At the same time, this brother Nipsey Hussle, put respect on his name, but we gotta call a spade a spade. The same time he was running around saying F Donald Trump, he was taking advantage of Trump's tax breaks, such as the opportunity zones, to screw black people out of their neighborhoods and gentrify them. All right. Shampoo said, tell me more. So now we about to get into what are these mysterious opportunity zones?
The December 2017 tax reform bill introduced the Qualified Opportunity Zone, or QOZ, program. It's designed to drive economic growth in thousands of designated areas across the United States. It's also a way for investors to make a lot of money tax-free. Step 1.
Wait a minute. Did y'all hear that? Tax-free. And that's why this whole thing about buying up the hood is a hot topic back in 2007. These billionaires are buying up every tax-free zone, these opportunity zones, because it's a great tax shelter. Oh yes. Let that sink in. Hold on. And she's going to break it down more on how these tax-free things. So what these billionaires done, Donald Trump allowed these billionaires to bring their money in back offshore. And they said, well, we need somewhere to put this money at before we get taxed to death on it. The opportunity zones. Let her explain how the tax benefits work.
Take any recent capital gains and contribute them into a Qualified Opportunity Fund, or QOF. Don't worry, you don't pay tax on your capital gains at this point. That tax liability is deferred for up to 7 years. This QOF, the fund, then invests in real property or businesses located in those designated Qualified Opportunity Zones.
Oh, you mean real properties like the building that Nipsey Hussle and his buddy Dave Gross bought, and they're going to tear down? Is that what you're talking about?
QOZs. Here's where the unique setup of the program starts to benefit investors. If you keep your investment in the fund for 5 years, a full 10% of the original tax liability is forgiven for good. Hold it for another 2 years, the government forgives a total of 15%. We've saved the best for last. Here is where the real payoff comes in. If you hold your fund investment for a total of 10 years, then all appreciation or gain in your investment is totally 100% tax-free. That's right.
Whoa, what? 100% tax-free if you gentrify black, poor neighborhoods that are qualified opportunity zones. Do you hear that, people? Let me rewind that back.
Tax-free. Step 1. Take any recent capital gains and contribute them into a Qualified Opportunity Fund, or QOF. Don't worry, you don't pay tax on your capital gains at this point. That tax liability is deferred for up to 7 years. This QOF, the fund, then invests in real property or businesses located in those designated Qualified Opportunity Zones, QOZs. Here's where the unique setup of the program starts to benefit investors. If you keep your investment in the fund for 5 years, a full 10% of the original tax liability is forgiven for good. Hold it for another 2 years, the government forgives a total of 15%. We've saved the best for last. Here is where the real payoff comes in. If you hold your fund investment for a total of 10 years, then all appreciation or gain in your investment is totally 100% tax-free. That's right, tax-free. Now, any investment carries risk, and there are some unique considerations.
All right, so that's all we need to take away from that video. Now you see. Now you see. Let's go back to the comments. He said Jay-Z a cowboy out here in the Wild Wild West robbing whoever. Right, he's robbing, and right, he's robbing the people. But at the same time, he said, okay, he said, I'm gonna be the sheriff, but he gonna hold the town hostage. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. Right, it's a way for generational wealth, but it takes wealth to have wealth. That's the only problem with that. OC said loophole for tax-free money investments. Yeah, that's a good thing. Like I said, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. But my issue with Jay-Z is, why are you just talking about it now, Jay-Z? Why didn't you come in and tell people this and say, hey, you know, Donald Trump sucked, but his new tax plan, hey, black folks, let's buy up the hoods. Let's do some crowdsourcing. All right, I need 100,000 of you to donate. You know what? Let's say I need a million of you to, you know what I'm saying, donate $100. Jay-Z easily got 1 million fans, especially black ones. $100. That's $100 million. Let's buy up the hoods. At least the people would have been taken advantage of, you know what I'm saying, not being taken advantage of. They could have made a profit making situation out of this. But no, he waits it's May, soon to be May 1st of 2019. This tax plan went through in 2017. He said not a word. He said not a word on Van Jones' show. He said not a word on social media about these opportunity zones. Nothing. Like I said, he didn't use his platform to inform people. Shampoo said Jay is getting paid and controlled by the left. He ain't going to promote Trump. Right. The rap agenda is to say fuck Trump. They're saying fuck Trump. At the same time, excuse my language, but that's what the song says. But they're taking advantage of his tax breaks, which I have no problem with, because they're saying you should use politics for your own benefit, but you're not sharing the information with your people. This is my problem. You're taking advantage. You're gentrifying the neighborhoods. That's destroying these only places these people have to go. You think they want to be in these poor neighborhoods? They're here for a reason. You turn around, you're going to gentrify their neighborhoods, and then you're not going to share the information with them that could benefit them. I hope you guys are really seeing where I'm coming from now, and why I find Mr. Sean Carter very disingenuous. He's willing to do these evil but genius plans. His words, not mine. This evil but genius plans on his own people, because he has a mentality that I'd rather sell crack to you because you're going to get it somewhere. That's his whole mentality. A leopard don't change its spots. I'd rather gentrify my people because somebody's going to do it. And he did not open his mouth and share not a word until now. And guess what? All these opportunity zones are bought up. And you say, well, we didn't see. Okay, Black T, right. Jay-Z's glorified selling crack. Right. And his song, You Must Love Me, he says, just his words, he sold crack to his own mother. So you think we won't gentrify his own people? Come on now. All right. Let's go and look at the availability of all these opportunity zones.
So I have to say this is...
Hold on. Ooh, it's about to get good now. So what I have here I have Mr. Ben Carson, who was over HUD, you know what I'm saying, and was over these opportunity zones. This white reporter on Bloomberg is going to ask him about the availability and accessibility, you know what I'm saying, who has access to these opportunity zones and this tax benefit and this money making, you know what I'm saying, this tax shelter. Now listen to the question the white man asked him, and then listen to Ben Carson's answer or non-answer.
Will probably take care of itself.
And do you also feel like this investment opportunity is widely available enough? Because, one concern obviously would be that, you got a bunch of fat cats up here in New York who are going to...
You got a what? Let's rewind that back. You got a what? A bunch of fat cats up in here in New York. Pay attention.
Care of itself.
And do you also feel like this investment opportunity is widely available enough? Because, one concern obviously would be that, you got a bunch of fat cats up here in New York who are going to take advantage of this, but it's not actually, from an investment perspective, going to be widely enjoyed. How do you ensure that?
There's already been about $25 billion committed, and we don't even have the second and third tranches of regulations out yet. So I think that the information is spreading around quickly. And, look at some of the long-term investments that people do for retirement and things like that. This is going to be an ideal vehicle for those. And as people begin to get more involved in these and hear about the successes that others are having, I think our next problem is going to be them demanding that we create more opportunity zones.
Did y'all hear that? Now this white man sit here and ask him, are only the fat cats in New York going to be able to take advantage of these opportunity zones? These fat cats in New York, like Mr. Sean Carter himself and others. And Mr. Ben Carson had no answer. But he said, we will be making available, they will be asking for more opportunity zones to be created. That's what he said. So, the first round of these opportunity zones, and I'm saying this to these people, to people out here, because like I said, I don't knock anybody. If you want to be a capitalist, you want to make money, if you feel like, you need to, you're saying, secure money for your own people, for your family, put your family first. I'm not here to judge you. But my issue is you can't say you're for your people and want to have a national and international platform saying you're for your people and then turn around and you're gentrifying these neighborhoods. That's my only issue. And as this man says in this news article, this news report, he could foresee that it was only not going to be accessible. It was not going to be accessible to everybody, but just the fat cats in New York. And that's his words, not mine. All right, let's go back. C Law said that's real. That was real. Shampoo said if they shared, they would expose the pyramids and lost the position themselves. One-eyed man is king in the land of the blind, right? Black T, Jay-Z glorifies selling crack. Yeah, we should cover that. Ben Carter, yeah, okay. Right, I'm glad that white man asked him that question too, because like I said, this white man could foresee, and this article came out right when the tax plan was being passed. He asked him a real question. He says, why do you think that, accessibility to these opportunity zones, investing in these opportunity zones is going to be widespread? And Ben Carson had no answer for him, but he said there will be a demand for creating more opportunity zones. What does that mean? That means more poor black people and poor people in general are going to be made vulnerable and be removed from their neighborhoods. And the thing is, it's not their neighborhoods because most of them are renting. But like I said, these places, they live in these poor places because that's their last stop. Shampoo says, how will blacks benefit or poor basically? Nah, ain't nobody gonna benefit but the rich. Okay, what's up, Twisted Hickory Juice? Hey, man. Hey, okay, so we're going to recap in a minute of what we done went through already. Right. Right, OC. I'm an animal activist, but I eat cheeseburgers. Correct. Not even eat cheeseburgers. I'm an animal activist, but I own a cattle ranch. that's the equivalent here. Not just eat cheeseburger. I own a whole damn cattle ranch. So, all right, let's recap. I think, what time is it? Okay, we 1 hour in. I just want to recap where we're at right now. So we covered Mr. Jay-Z's comments. Let's go back and look at his comments right quick. His lyrics. He says, gentrify your own hood before the other people do it. He says, use eminent domain to do it. Hold on. Come on, don't slow me down now. Let me get some juice too. Hold on. We're going in tonight, folks. We're going in tonight. He said, gentrify your own hood. He said, claim eminent domain, which we covered. Eminent domain is just basically the government forcing people out of their homes. So Jay-Z's going to use the state to force people out of their homes. He says, let's break some more bars down. He said that's a small glimpse into what Nipsey Hussle's doing. And as we've seen from this article here, we've seen what Nipsey Hussle was doing. He was trying to become a real estate mogul, which I have no beef with that. But then you can't say, but my beef is you can't say you're for your people, but you're going to buy that plaza that the Marathon store was in, and then you were going to knock it down. Not my words, his. Let's look here. Let's look here. He said within 18 months or so, they will knock everything down and rebuild a residential area atop a commercial plaza with a revamped Marathon store. All right, so we covered that. And let's see here. Go back to that article. One more time, because we missed one piece. So the key piece to that is why now? Okay. Why now? Because we have Donald Trump 2017 tax plan created opportunity zones. And it says here, right here, this qualifies, and we're going to get to something else here, qualifies these opportunity zones. And these opportunity zones were created by Donald Trump's, like I said, 2000 tax plan, where if you invest in these low income areas that's been defined as opportunity zones, if you stay in for 10 years, you pay zero taxes. And isn't it funny? Isn't this the same thing they got on Donald Trump about? And like I said, I'm not taking up for Donald Trump here, but just you're saying, just for all fairness, isn't this what they claim Donald Trump? He didn't pay any taxes. Is this what they said? He didn't. Oh, he's a billionaire. He don't pay any tax. Wait. So it's okay for us to do what they're doing to our own people. Just let that sink in. Now, here we come. So we caught up. Here's a key point. There's a brand new train station under construction. Just a few steps away. And that's where we're going to pick up at. But before we do, let's remember that it's a train station coming. But let's see. He said, okay, Shampoo says it's wild. The technocrats have a 20, 30, 100-year plans, and this plan about tax incentives was made years ago and planned for sure. Right. And this is going to feed into something else. Right. Okay. We're going to go there. We're going to go there, Shampoo. But let me get to everybody. Right, the eminent domain said about Anna, Texas. That wasn't relevant to. I'm saying Shantae, that wasn't relevant. That part wasn't relevant to this conversation, so I didn't play it out. It just explained what eminent domain is. That's the only reason I just want to use that small clip. Just explain what eminent domain was. OC said he made the same clout move with the whole Trayvon Martin. Yeah, right. Yep. Jay-Z is definitely, I'm saying, a very successful clout chaser. Okay. Black T said Jay-Z is basically a high school dropout, crack dealer elevated by corporate America to be a business mogul and proceed to be some type of robber. Yeah, right. Oh, he's Robin Hood. But that's ROBBING Hoods. 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 Robbing hoods. That's what he's doing. He extracted the wealth and the volatility out of the black community by selling us, by what he says, kilos upon kilos upon kilos of crack cocaine. Destroyed families with it, destroyed homes. And his justification is, well, if you're going to get it for somewhere else, you might as well get it from me. And now he's double back now to extract what's left, to get the rest of the blood from that tunnel. By removing the only affordable places these people have. All right, Shampoo said Trump doesn't want to show his taxes for a reason. Loophole God. Right, yeah. Oh, yeah. So much so, he even created a whole bill. I mean, like I said, let's not get twisted. He created a whole bill. Oh, Chantel, oh, you lived in Anna, Texas. Okay. I see why you're saying why that. Okay. Oh, and then she said it's true. So, Chantel, if you would you put when this video posts, would you add some more context to your statement? Would let us know what's going on down in Anna, Texas. Right. He's robbing in every way possible. All right. So now we're about to get to. We're going to see the effects of these opportunity zones. I got a little news clip here. Let's get into this.
Well, the government is sweetening the deal for investors who put their money into San Diego's most underserved neighborhoods. It's a potential solution to our housing crisis that we're exploring as part of our Making It in San Diego initiative.
Our 10 News reporter John Horn explains why longtime residents are concerned that plan could backfire.
This intersection overlooks much of the Colina del Sol neighborhood here in the City Heights area. It's a part of San Diego that Zillow says is ripe for new housing.
It's been expensive to live here, but it's expensive to live anywhere.
Tommy Barnett has called Colina del Sol home for the past 9 years. The price, like everywhere else, going up.
It's starting at $12 or $13 for a one-bedroom.
Still, the government designated this area
$1,200 to $1,300 for a one-bedroom. And that's prior to. Let's go back a little bit. Let's just see what you're saying.
Our 10 News reporter John Horn explains why longtime residents are concerned that plan could backfire.
This intersection overlooks much of the Colina del Sol neighborhood here in the City Heights area. It's a part of San Diego that Zillow says is ripe for new housing.
It's been expensive to live here, but it's expensive to live anywhere.
Tommy Barnett has called Colina del Sol home for the past 9 years. The price, like everywhere else, going up.
It's starting at $12 or $13 for a one-bedroom.
Still, the government designated this area as an opportunity zone, or as the IRS puts it, economically distressed. Our region has about 30 of these zones, most in the city of San Diego's inner core.
There's nothing around. There's no areas for you to be able to buy or place any new building on.
That now appears to be changing. The Opportunity Zone program, part of 2017 tax reform, offers tax breaks to investors who inject their dollars into these neighborhoods. But instead of making life more affordable, Zillow says home prices in Opportunity Zones grew 20% in a year.
There are still as many questions as there are answers out there.
Eric Tilkemeyer does economic development in City Heights, also an Opportunity Zone. He's working with policymakers to make sure the new investments benefit the community.
We're park deficient. Our sidewalks are deplorable in a number of neighborhoods. The walkability is not what it should be. The challenge is all of those same improvements tend to cause gentrification.
In other words, keeping residents like Barnett from being priced out of their own neighborhoods. John Horn, 10 News.
In addition to the Colonia del Sol neighborhood, Zillow says the Opportunity Zones in San Diego most likely to see investment are Golden Hill, University Heights, and the Cherokee Point area near City Heights.
All right. So we just saw it there. I just wanted to run that article back. Send that news story there, just so we could put a face on the gentrification. All right, let's go through some of these comments. Right, shampoo, underserved. Right, that's what they're gonna say. Oh, it's underserved. Like the man saying that all the sidewalks, they're not walkable, and it's nothing there. Right, but when you bring all the stuff in that these people could take advantage of, they can't afford it. So it doesn't hurt no good. Let's keep going. It's expensive now, she says. Can't wait for these zones. Right, it's expensive now. She wait till she won't be able to afford it. She'll be bye-bye. Or he said, or giving her body for rent. And we're gonna. That's another topic I'm gonna touch on. Not in this video, but in the near future. Of people that it's called survival sex. Basically, it's people that are sex workers that do it just to be survivors. We're gonna touch on that. You know what I'm saying? But we're not gonna get distracted tonight. Yep, double speak. Yeah, shampoo, you on it tonight. You on it. OC. It says slaving to survive with invisible handcuffs to traditional effery. Right. All right. So we've seen the effects of opportunity zones. So I want to show you guys a map here. Let's take a look at a map. I always want to come with the facts here. Just so you can see what was going on in Crenshaw. Let's zoom in. Here in the center of the screen, you see LAX Airport. See this gray dotted line here? Called the Crenshaw LAX line. This is what was being built. And this was started being built in 2014. That's why I said this is not new. All this crap is planned. It's all planned. They knew the light rail was coming. It's going to connect Crenshaw with LAX. As you can see over here, the green Crenshaw dot here. That's the Crenshaw station. And you can see here, it connects it with the line here. You got Santa Monica, and with improved public transportation comes the new faces, and out with the old faces. So I just want to show you this, so you can see what was going on there. All right. So let's see the impact of this Crenshaw rail system. Because they said that was vital to the investment Nipsey Hussle was making. Let's go back. Let's go back just to make sure. Like I said, I don't want to keep harping here, but I just want to make sure we understand what's going on here. In this Forbes article about Nipsey Hussle becoming a real estate mogul, and this is before his death in February of 2019. It says right here, In the meantime, a light rail line is rising to link Crenshaw, which is crucially qualifies as a tax-advantaged opportunity zone, to LAX or Los Angeles International Airport. We saw that on the map. And other key nodes of sprawling Southern California. The plaza will be among the first to benefit. There's a brand new train station under construction just steps away. So as we know with real estate, it's about location, location, location. Let's remember that. Okay, so let's go here and see the effects of this Crenshaw rail system on the current neighborhood. Let's get into this quick video. Notice that let's go back for a minute. This says November 28th, 2012, New York Times. The Crenshaw line threatens to become yet another insult to South Los Angeles and a burden for businesses. This is 2012, folks. 7 years ago. Let's let the video run.
Crenshaw Boulevard is the last African-American business corridor in Southern California. This is it. And Metro simply has no respect for it.
What I love about Crenshaw is it's not dominated by large multinational chain stores, right? There's a bookstore and a car wash and a restaurant and a catering place and all kinds of stuff that would be impacted by these years of construction. And people who don't have to drive down that street are going to avoid it altogether. So it's going to kill those businesses. Those businesses are going to die.
From 48th to 59th, you're looking at street-level construction, much like the exposition line, that will destroy that business community. This has been done in other places. The impacts are always severe.
So, and let's get back. I just want to back up a little bit because I want to show this brother here. So, this brother says they know what's going to happen. This has happened before. The businesses are going to be destroyed just by the railway alone. So they're driving this railway right in the middle of Compton, destroying the black businesses. And then people are going to come in, mop up, take advantage of this, and gentrify these neighborhoods. Man, it's very sad. I hate to have to bring this to you guys. But I reached out to this brother here, and I hope to have I'll have him on the channel soon. Let's see. Mr. Damian Goodman. He's boots on the ground. I'm gonna show his picture right quick, just so we know who this brother here.
In other places, the impact.
This is Mr. Damian Goodman. He's boots on the ground. He's been fighting this fight in Southern California, Crenshaw specifically, fighting against gentrification. I reached out to this brother on Twitter. I wanted to cover his Twitter tirade he went on, not tirade in the negative form, but he was really upset about Mr. Jay-Z, Sean Carter's statements. And like I said, I want to have this brother on the channel. Maybe we can have a part 2 to this video where I can have an interview and have him come in and talk about it. So what I want you to do is, if you guys can go to my Twitter account, thumbs up this brother, like his tweets, retweet his tweets, you know what I'm saying? Show him, you know what I'm saying? Put our muscle behind it. Let's support this brother because he's boots on the ground. He's boots on the ground. He's actually doing the work. So, you know what I'm saying? These are the people we need to support, not these corporate propped up mouthpieces and empty suits. They say they're for the people, but then they turn around and profit off the suffering of our people. So let's get back to the comments. So now we've seen the effects of these opportunity zones. We've seen the effects of this railway that was coming in, that was gonna bring, tear up Crenshaw. All right, so let's get back to the comments. Let's go to the comments here. All right, so Tasha Collins, let me make sure, let me go down. Okay, let me catch up. All right. Miss Tasha Collins says, I'm definitely getting enlightened right now. My parents bought a house in New York on Long Island in the mid-1970s. Built from the ground up. No one wanted to live in the ghetto called Gordon Heights. Right. Thank you, Black T. He said, Mo, you're on point tonight. I appreciate that. I hope I'm on point every night. But you know what I'm saying? I really did, you know what I'm saying, my due diligence on this video. And it, like I said, it's a learning process. And I think this is going to be the flow that I have for majority of my videos moving forward. I'm a lot, you know what I'm saying, I have better dexterity with the phone where I can, you know what I'm saying, capture everything that I need to capture and bring it to you. But yeah, this is what you're going to see more to this channel. And like I said, I want you guys to like the video. I want you guys to share the video so these people can be educated until, I'm saying, to go against the media narrative about what's really going on in these neighborhoods and what Mr. Sean Carter was really talking about when he said gentrify the hoods. He didn't misspeak. He did not misspeak. And I hope this video illustrates that. He said the first to benefit. Damn, that's a coincidence. Right, it's a hell of a coincidence. Black T said the PATH train is extended to south side of Newark. Right, they're gonna make perfect. Right, boy, Shampoo, you on fire tonight. He said they're gonna make Crenshaw the new Harlem, and that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Harlem, you can't even recognize Harlem now. You can't even recognize it. And let me say one more thing since you said that. They're going to make Crenshaw the new Harlem. Now I'm going to take one data point here that we've seen. Now it makes sense why Jay-Z and the late Nipsey Hussle was going to meet with the LAPD. That's how gentrification works. The first step is to bring in increased policing. Are you seeing it now, people? I hope you're seeing it. You buy up the land, number one. Number two, you bring in the police. You do heavy policing. You do stop and frisking like they did in New York. They drive the people out. Why can't we get this, you know what I'm saying, and have those people stay there? Don't those people deserve increased policing? The good, innocent people of Crenshaw? No, it matters when they bring in these, these upper middle class and rich people. And we're gonna see who's moving in. That's gonna be in the next clip. Who's moving into Crenshaw? Let's wrap up these comments right quick. says white people started. Let's see. White people started coming. The property value went up. Right. They sold the house for 4 times the amount than when it was built. I don't even recognize the middle class neighborhood anymore. Sad but facts. That's right. And facts was I like that. I like that. Brenton Knight says, you're right, Mo. Where the NOI to stop this. Right. Hey. Shampoo says, Mo's taking out the journalistic bag. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man. Look. I'm not saying this. I am saying this, but I like to use white folks and clips of white media to tell you what's going on, because some people won't believe you unless it come out of a white person's mouth. So I'm using these clips to, solidify my point. Shantae says, basically, white people are being white, taken from the Disney franchise for their own personal gain to promote generational wealth for them. Classic case of white supremacy privilege. And right, and now we're seeing Jay-Z says, it's a, what was the word he used? Let's go back. I don't want to misquote the brother. What was the word he used? One second. What was his word? A ruthless. There it is. A ruthless, but a genius plan. And all he's saying, I'm going to co-opt that ruthless, but genius plan and perform it on my own people. All right, so let's keep going. Right. I saw you, Shantae. Like I said, I couldn't get to all the comments. Yeah, you did break it down. That's exactly what they're doing. Let's see. Shampoo. Right. Moe with the police because they protect. Right. They protect the construction worker. They protect their property. They protect their business interests. But they won't rally to bring them in, bring in the cops. When kids are getting killed, old ladies' houses are getting broken and robbed and vandalized. They won't bring them in there, but they'll bring them in to protect their own monetary gain. Right, Black T. Crime is the only deterrent to gentrification. Right, but just imagine if they put that same effort into policing into those neighborhoods when black people were living there and stopping those crack dealers. And those, gang members for shooting up the block and having kids scared to walk to school. If they put that same energy, and I'm all for policing ourselves. I will say that, but Shampoo said Jay-Z the smooth comment. Right. I hope y'all see what's going on. What's up, peace? Pharaoh De Niro, peace. Twisted Hickory Juice facts. Nothing like it. Was when I was a kid or a teenager. Correct. What's up, brother? All right. So now we're about to see. Okay. Now we're going to get back to it. Now, okay. Now we're going to see who's moving in to Crenshaw. I got a few audio clips here. I couldn't find the visuals. But just listen closely. Let's see. Clip 1.
Stephen T. Johnson works in social media advertising, and he spends most of his days using things he does not own.
I took an Uber to Equinox to shower before we met, and then went to Podshare, and then came to WeWork.
Stephen took a ride share to get to the gym he uses. He does not own a car. At the gym, he rents a locker. He uses the gym's laundry service because he does not own a washing machine. He doesn't even have an apartment, actually.
Exactly.
We were going to meet at Podshare, this co-living space where Stephen rents a bed. Just a bed in a big open room with about a dozen other people, but it was too loud. So we went to his co-working space, a place called WeWork, where Stephen rents a desk. WeWork is also an NPR sponsor.
So did you guys hear that? Let's be clear. the people that they're moving in are not even buying. This guy that they're saying they were interviewing, he makes decent money. I'm saying he's well into the middle class, maybe upper middle class earnings, but he doesn't own anything. And so I'm gonna get, you know what I'm saying, for my people, you know, for my fellow conspiracy analysts out there, this is Agenda 21, folks. All the years we were talking about this, these highly dense areas like San Francisco, now it's gonna be Crenshaw, New York. They're having these people packed in. Did you hear that? He's living in a dorm. A dorm. They're not building nice apartments when they gentrify these neighborhoods. They're building dorms. These people don't own anything. He doesn't own a car. He doesn't own anything. These are the people that are moving in to these areas. I'm going to show you some clips and show, and saying just to validate my point. But before we get in the second clip, I want to see you saying what they said. All right, so Shampoo says, Mo, that same energy creates positive people. That's wanted, but only for certain factions. Right, they don't want us to be positive. They created war zones in our neighborhoods, in these historically black neighborhoods. I'm from one of them. I'm from Durham, North Carolina, originally. And I saw what they've done recently. Certain parts of Durham, you couldn't go down. Austin Avenue, you couldn't go down. McDougal Terrace, you couldn't go down. But now, all down Austin Avenue in Durham, they built, gentrified. And the people have been displaced. They moved them out to the edges of the county off the bus line. Brent Knight says, do you like Young Pharaoh? No, not really. Twisted Hickory Juice. And that's right. Twisted Hickory. All right, so you from North Carolina. You know what's up. It's the same in Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, Charlotte, and Wilmington. Correct. They came in and they bought everything up. And they displaced the people. Right. Silicon Valley is moving in. Right. And the thing is, this is the point I'm drawing with these audio clips, is the people they're moving in, they're taking advantage of too. I'm going to show you the living conditions they're moving in. And like I said, I'm not weeping for nobody. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but the thing is, no, the only people that's benefiting this is the elite. When Jay-Z was rapping, and I think somebody made that point earlier. Jay-Z was talking to the bosses. He wasn't talking to those middle class white kids that were at the concert that spent all those hundreds of, maybe even thousands of dollars to come to his B-side concert. He wasn't talking to the black people that he claimed to represent. He was talking to the elite. His advice was for the elite. Because the same people that the ones they moving out of the neighborhood, we covered that extensively throughout this video so far. But I just want to shed a light on the people that they're moving into. They're moving into these neighborhoods. They're being taken advantage of as well, and I'm going to show you that as well. So this benefits nobody but the super elite. They can take advantage of these tax shelters for their large money. Just go down some more. Right, I'm here. I'm from the Bull. What you know about the Bull, bruh? What you know about the Bull City? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, you live in Bride Creek? Yeah. Yep. I used to work in Apex. Right. And Shampoo, man, you on fire tonight, bro. Hey, Shampoo gonna get a gold star for tonight's class. Hold on, cause he set me up. He alley and I'm open. He said this is going to lead to towards a cashless society or tax forgiveness to accept the system. After most poor get sucked out like this black woman showed earlier, right? And just facts. There's two things I want to talk about the cashless society since Shampoo made this, and these are just we're gonna go a little left right now. Two things. These people they put in front of us, one, Nipsey Hussle, the late Nipsey Hussle, let's put some respect on his name, but what he always tout his story as, oh, it's cashless. It's cashless. Bruh, when you get on that stage, you are going to push the New World Order's agenda. Second point about cashless. Do you remember back when 444 first came out? Jay-Z was rallying against the cash, the money phone. You know, you're saying the new kids was using the money phone. That was about consolidating cash and getting them to move away from cash, but it didn't work. The young kids rebelled against it. That's why I said Jay-Z only speaks for the New World Order, folks. You're going to come to see this. I hope you're seeing it tonight. And every movie you're going to see from now on, it has to be congruent with the wishes of the New World Order. Like he said, get rid of cash. Thank you for setting that up for me, Shampoo. I wanted to get that out, but I didn't see how to squeeze it in. You set me up. Appreciate that. I am an engineer, but not a civil engineer. Okay, he said, Twisted Hickory Juice said, facts. I agree, I agree, Shampoo. Right. Right, OC, right. Yeah, right, I just said that. I heard a Marathon Clothing Store. Right, it's cashless. This is all New World Order, folks. This is Agenda 21. They got to get rid of the undesirables. They bringing in the brain drain. Let's bring that in, too. And we're gonna get into some, and later on this channel. This channel, I got so many plans for this channel. We're gonna get into this basic living income. You know, where they're gonna just pay people to stay at home. But yeah, this is brain drain. They're getting rid of the people that's originally. Let's lay the plan out here, so people can understand. They're getting rid of the undesirables in the neighborhoods that's adjacent to the areas that they want to be at. Harlem, New York, Crenshaw, Durham, North Carolina, which is adjacent to the RTP. They're getting rid of all those people that they're occupying that through gentrification. And then you bring in, with the brain drain for all across the country, you bring them to these urban centers and you put them into 200 square foot boxes. And I got proof. 200 square foot boxes at best, or you living in a 12 bed open room dorm. We're gonna see that. Right, Shampoo said I didn't notice what you said about the store being cash. Right. What's up, S. Morrison? We got some new people. I think you're saying some late people coming in, or they just not commenting. I like to see everybody in here. And like I said, people, please go check that brother Damian Goodman out. You know what I'm saying? I retweeted one of his tweets. He's boots on the ground fighting gentrification in Southern California. I'm trying to get him on the channel to do an interview, so it would help if you go reach out, show that you guys would want him to come here and do an interview, and it might help it. But he did hit me back. You know, we just ain't had a chance, you know, just living life. We haven't had a chance to chop it up yet. But I would like to do make this a running topic about gentrification. Shampoo said, I didn't know that about the store. That's why I said Moe. Right. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Right. Crypto was spiking around the time of the drop. Right. Boy, we got some sharp knives in here. I love it. Like I said, I don't want a bunch of people on my channel. It'd be nice, but I want quality people on my channel. People that's thinkers. I think everybody here tonight are thinkers, because y'all are adding value to, you know what I'm saying, more value to this conversation. And that's why I said I want this to be a conversation, and you guys are on fire tonight. I like that. Y'all really give me great prompts. What's up, the Most High? You ain't late. You catching on the run back? Nice of you to join us, though. All right, so we're gonna go into this second clip right quick. Second audio clip of this person that they moved in, and this gentleman says he doesn't own anything. He catches an Uber to work. He lives in a rented He works in a rented one of those rented office spaces, and he lives in a 12 bed dorm room. Let's listen to part 2.
Stephen owns so little he can carry most of his stuff in his hands.
I actually gave up my backpack that was the smallest I got down to, and I gave that up 2 months ago.
Stephen also only owns 2 outfits. Well, 2 of the same outfit.
Under Armour brandless sport shoes, Lululemon pants, Lululemon socks, Lululemon shirt, Lululemon underwear.
Stephen is part of a newish group of young people. Kind of well off, but also, in a way, homeless. Does Stephen represent a fundamental shift in American capitalism as we know it?
The fact is that we can't afford to sort of hoard anymore.
That's Skylar Wang. He's a PhD student at UC Berkeley. He studies the sociology of the sharing economy, and he thinks one of the biggest factors in this economic shift is...
Hold on. Did y'all hear what this dude said? He said he owns so little stuff. He didn't even need a book bag no more. He has 2 outfits. He owns nothing. I'm gonna run that back. For you right quick. And we're saying we're gonna go all the way. Hold on.
Stephen owns so little he can carry most of his stuff in his hands.
I actually gave up my backpack that was the smallest I got down to, and I gave that up 2 months ago.
Stephen also only owns 2 outfits. Well, 2 of the same outfit.
Under Armour brandless sport shoes, Lululemon pants, Lululemon socks, Lululemon shirt, Lululemon underwear.
Stephen is part of a newish group of young people. Kind of well off, but also, in a way, homeless.
This dude say he owns 2 outfits. He's well off but homeless. Folks, this is Agenda 21 personified. Do you hear this? They're moving out the poor people and they're bringing actually in poorer people because they own nothing. Yes, they have good jobs and you're saying make money, but they charge them so much to live there that they're working poor. Y'all hear this? No, okay. Wait a minute. We're gonna go back to the comments right quick. I'm gonna bring this on home right quick. And like I said, I'm running. I usually like try to keep it at 1 hour and a half, but man, I'm having so much fun, and I'm feeling y'all so much. You know that I'm gonna run a little late. I'm gonna run a little late now. If y'all can hang with me, y'all let me know. Right, she said Moe Factz. He said, okay, then Pharaoh De Niro said Agenda 21 ran military exercise too. Right. But we're just focusing on the highly dense city plan and the small dwellings. This is just a small segment that we're focused on Agenda 21. Agenda 21, and I might do an overview of that, you know what I'm saying, on another video. But just of tonight, we're just focused on these highly dense cities and these small dwellings that they want to have us in. Thank you, Shantae. She said Moe Factz. I appreciate that. There's more said. I just tapped in though. You were sharp on the star report. Third eye wide. Applied in real time. Like mine's appreciate. I appreciate that. And like I said, I think everybody that followed me here from the star report are very sharp and intelligent people, because that's something I said on that show that reached you guys. And man, a lot of y'all was here before I even had content. Man, that was so big to me, and I appreciate that. And like I said, I'm gonna start increasing the frequency of drops, but I'm gonna try to get with these y'all get with y'all live at least once a week, like we're doing now. I usually do it on Mondays, but you know how life is. And like I said, I want to be well prepared when I drop this video. So that's what took an extra day. Thank you, Brent Knight. He said, I'll be waiting on the Moe show before it starts now. I appreciate that, brother. All right, Shampoo says, well, Gender 21 is about depopulation and packing people in for the kill shot in short terms, Pharaoh, but if someone else can elaborate, feel free. Right, that's what it's all about. Let's be clear. The elite's whole plan is depopulation. All roads of the elite's plan leads to depopulation. They put you in these 200 square foot homes. First of all, the poor people, they're going to be relying on the basic income, what is it called, universal basic income, or I think it's UBI, I believe. I'll get the exact term, but that's basically where the government pays you to stay home. We've seen that, the soft implementation of that with disability. A lot of people, not saying there's a lot of people, there's a good amount of people that deserve disability, but there's also a lot of people that's on disability that don't deserve it, but they're giving it to them so they get used to staying at home. But when the other shoe drops and they tell you you can't procreate or you can't do this or that if you're receiving this income, that would be Agenda 21. That would be depopulation. Secondly, they're moving these people into highly dense cities and these small dwellings. They're using, and they make you feel like you won't have space to reproduce and have children. They're also scaring you with climate change. You hear a lot of people now saying that they don't want to have children due to climate change. It's good for the environment. So yes, all these things, I don't want to get sidetracked, but all these things lead to Agenda 21. He said Wayne for Berkeley, the basic, right. Appreciate it. The Most High said blessings, blessings, Mo, blessing chat. Yeah, blessing to the chat. Man, y'all been rocking with me hard. I like that. He said, Denero Pharaoh said that's that white boy ish. LOL, I ain't mad. LOL, aka homeless. Right. Right, rich homeless. Shampoo says, well, they're living for the dream of hitting billionaire or startup, or a startup getting them 30 million. They're being fooled too. Right, everybody's being fooled. If you buy into the system, yes, that you're being fooled. All right, Twisted Hickory said, they do stuff like that, like this, like it's a game. It is a game to them. It is a game to them, and that brings me to one scene from Trading Places. With the two brothers, they play with, they did social engineering on two people's lives for $1 bet. That's how the elite think. This is a game to them. All right, S. Morrison said, keep going. Shantae said she's rocking. Okay, all right. Twisted Hickory said, we rocking with you, homie. Do your thing. All right, I appreciate that. Like I said, I ain't gonna hold y'all all night. But you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure we get this clear. By the end of the night, we're going to have this wrapped up. And you guys share this video with y'all friends so they can't. We have all the receipts. And like I said, I don't have receipts. I have invoices. I have them all here. And I plan on linking this whole thing with all these links in the comments so you guys can point them, send them, and say, look, this is what it is. Like I said, I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm just trying to show you how my mind works. And if you could take away from that, you know what I'm saying, to prove, we all know what's up. Most of the people in this chat tonight know what's up, man. I'll just say that. What's up, Juan Sebastian? I'm sorry, I didn't see you, but I'm gonna speak to you, bro. I think that's Psych Sweet 80. What's up? She said, hey, Mo. I'm not as enlightened as you are. Please define unfamiliar movement, i.e. Agenda 21. Greatly appreciate. Okay. Like I said, we're gonna cover that, you know what I'm saying, in a later video, but just know that all these actions that we talked about tonight, and when you catch it on the replay, these are all examples of how Agenda 21 works. And basically, Agenda 21 is basically like the New World Order, their official agenda. Twisted Hickory said, I definitely was listening when you was on Star. you kept as a gent, right? And that's how I am. I'm just gonna be me. I'm not gonna be what anybody else wants me to be. He said that's why I like you held it. You cold, but you from the Bulls, so I see why. Right? That's all we do. We gentlemen, man. But hey, don't mess with us though. Don't mess with us. He said Cortez said that about kids right. Okay. Right. This is that perfect, OC. Perfect. It's a perfect comment. He says social engineering to normalize slave sardine living. That's basically what it is. And we're gonna see that. Like I said, I think that's a good jumping off point. I'm gonna stop right. OC, you great. You gave me a great lead into this next one. As we seen this, the white gentleman said that he was basically homeless. He was living in a dorm. I'm going to show you what they're going to replace places like Crenshaw, San Francisco, and Harlem with in the future. The micro apartment and the adult dorms. Here we go.
The beauty of San Francisco comes at a price. The city has long been home to sky-high rents, and that is leading a change in the law allowing construction of the nation's tiniest new apartments. They are about the size of this video wall. And so John Blackstone takes us inside these micro units.
Wait a minute. Did y'all hear what she said? She says that the apartment is the same size as that video wall that she's standing beside. That's how big the floor plan is. So rewind that back. Like I said, I want you to catch what you just said.
The beauty of San Francisco comes at a price. The city has long been home to sky-high rents, and that is leading a change in the law allowing construction of the nation's tiniest new apartments. They are about the size of this video wall. And so John Blackstone takes us inside these micro units.
We had a space in a garage here, and we thought we'd try it there.
In a Berkeley, California warehouse, property developer Patrick Kennedy tested his ideas for really tiny apartments. So was the idea with this, let's just see how small you can go and still survive?
Yes, basically.
The design Kennedy calls Smart Space 1.0 turned out to be not so smart in some ways. 166 square feet in all, the shower soaked the toilet paper, the stovetop lived in a drawer, and the couch that turned into a bed was too inconvenient.
An 8-foot ceiling is positively claustrophobic in a small...
They said 166 square feet. That's a 10 by 16 bedroom. Your whole apartment in. I'll let him continue.
Space. Space is at a premium in many big cities, driving up rents, so micro apartments are seen as one possible answer in cities from San Jose and Seattle to New York, where Mayor Michael Bloomberg backed a competition for the best design. But nowhere are apartments more expensive than San Francisco, where an influx of young tech workers keeps demand high.
Okay, the other changes we made...
So San Francisco is where Patrick Kennedy has built Smart Space 2.0, incorporating lessons learned in his prototype. The 4-story building has 23 pint-sized pads of 295 square feet. Did
y'all hear that? Let's rewind that back a little bit and listen what they just said.
Patrick Kennedy has built Smart Space 2.0, incorporating lessons learned in his prototype. The 4-story building has 23 pint-sized pads of 295 square feet. Did anybody say to you, Patrick, you're crazy to be building apartments that are less than 300 square feet?
Yes, everybody have basically said that until they've come and seen it.
These tiny apartments cost $1,600 a month. The average studio in San
$1,600 a month for 166 square feet. Let that sink in for you, folks. $1,600 a month for 166 square feet. And you think this is not going to be profitable? Even it, okay, say let's say even if the people originally in the neighborhood of Crenshaw and San Francisco and these other gentrified cities could live there, they're going to replace their current homes and put them in a jail cell. 166 square feet. That's 16 by 10. That's your whole apartment. And this is if you're lucky. I got one worse than that coming up next. As a matter of fact, let's just go there for a minute. Hold on, I think we got everything we could take from that. Let's just go back to the comments right quick. That's if you're lucky. And like I said, that's the tech workers moving in, like the gentleman that we heard before speaking, the rich homeless. That's what they're living in. If you're lucky. We're going to show you something worse than that, but let's go down to the comments. Ferdinand said they're doing that with downtown. Yes, they're doing that with downtown Detroit. All these major, what they used to call chocolate cities, DC, Atlanta, Crenshaw, Harlem, all it, like I said, Detroit, Chicago is even going through it. And Obama is using his library to gentrify. Go look it up. Obama's using his library to gentrify Chicago. His presidential library. So go look that up. Let's go keep going. You're right. They're doing it in Detroit. Shampoo said, okay. She said that's how they live in Japan inside of Detroit. Right. And something you need guys to pay attention to is Japan, because they run a lot of these programs and systems in Japan as the testing site. That's a good point, Shampoo. Farrell De Niro says tiny houses, bro. Right. Notice they had a whole show dedicated to tiny houses. You're basically living in a you're basically living in like a what was it, a storage shed. Peace, Tamar G. How you doing? Nice of you to join us. Right, they're trying to condense the city. Right, they're trying to condense the cities, and it's all for profit. It's all for profit. If like I said, if they could take just say for instance, if they could take that that strip mall and Crenshaw, tear it down, build up a 6-story building, and put these tiny apartments over top of it, they're gonna make a killing. They're gonna make a killing. Whoa. Shampoo talking about 5G. Yeah, we're going to get down there. Yeah, De Niro, that was a stove. Yep, OC said I said jail cells. Correct. Right, they're luxury jail cells. That's well put, Shampoo. He said the size of the U-Haul truck. De Niro said that. Right. Buzzwords. Ain't right, Shampoo. We gotta pay attention to these buzzwords. Sustainability, green, smart space. Right. Alright, so for the unlucky people, and you can't live in a micro apartment, this is where you're gonna live. Let's pay attention.
As Southern California rent prices have skyrocketed, so has the search for affordable housing. This is PodShare in Venice, one of a growing number of co-living communities throughout LA. Renters get their own pod and share everything else for about $1,000 a month. Owner Elvina.
You get a pod, a bed, a little area for $1,000 a month. Listen to this. Let's wind that back. Hold on. Like I said, it's so jarring that you can't take it all in. So that's why I like to rewind it back so you can just soak up what they're saying. And then they say it with just like nonchalantness, like, oh yeah, that's normal.
As Southern California rent prices have skyrocketed, so has the search for affordable housing. This is PodShare in Venice, one of a growing number of co-living communities throughout LA. Renters get their own pod and share everything else for about $1,000 a month. Owner Elvina Beck founded the company 6 years ago after dealing with her own housing struggle. It's also a way for young professionals to live in the most unaffordable spaces, like the trendy Abbot Kinney neighborhood in Venice. Despite the lack of space and privacy and crowded bathrooms and kitchens, Elvina sees the co-living industry exploding.
These are basically fancy homeless shelters. That's what they are. These are fancy homeless shelters. And I think, what's that show on Netflix? I think it's called Black Mirror. They had an episode kind of like this. You remember the episode where they were living inside that, it had the black guy from Get Out in it. They were living outside that little, basically like that room. I mean, I don't know what it was. But that's basically what you're living in a fancy, this ain't even a jail cell. This is a homeless shelter with great decor. Right, the dude from Get Out. Right, go check that show. I think it's either called Black Mirror or Dark Mirror on Netflix. It shows you how the technocratic society, the ills that you're faced with it. It's great. It's very prophetic. Let's continue. Oh, thank you, OC. He said 1,000 merits is the episode. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I think communal is really important for the soul. I think it makes you live longer. I can't stress how much sharing is important in someone's life.
Other co-living spaces offer greater levels of privacy. Some offer completely furnished private bedrooms and baths, but the more of your own space that you get, of course, it's going to cost you more.
You may have heard about the company.
So did y'all hear that? Hold on, let's go up. Hold on. Wait, I'm going to catch up. Hold on. Okay, Sandra said, but OC, at the end, you saw how the rich study all the people and how through social media phones, they studied them. They knew they were all lucky. Okay, I didn't catch that part of the conversation. Right? Inside a U-Haul truck, that's correct. Oh, Shampoo told us about the buzzwords to watch for. OC said, okay, yeah, Little Dicky, Earth Song. Going Green Propaganda. Yes. That was straight propaganda. That was weird too. That Little Dicky song. That Little Dicky, we gotta watch that dude. Gotta keep an eye on that guy. I might have to do a video on him one day. It says next thing you will hear about serve and pride. Right. More catchwords. Right. It's storage unit. Yep. He said the U.S. is trying to be China. I don't know what came first, the chicken and the egg. We're going to figure that out, OC. All right, Shampoo said you can't live with your child or family, bro. Ain't no children or family in the New World Order, baby. No, ain't none of that. He said you can't live with your child or family, girl. You can, pleasure yourself, or female, use her, use her B.O.B. I'm paraphrasing here for I'm saying just so so we don't be too offensive. It said not that you need to be doing it. He said ish, you can't fart. Right, you can't even pass gas. You have no privacy. But that only feeds into the surveillance state. Now you're under constant surveillance. We know when we walk out the door we're under surveillance, but now even in your own so-called home, for lack of a better word, dwelling, pod, you have no privacy. So you're constantly under surveillance. I think it's I'm sorry if I ruined your name. Chai Sweet 80. I'm gonna just call you Sweet 80. I'm gonna shorten it up. Sorry about that. And she said no thanks though. Yeah, dude from Get Out, like you said before. OC is called 1,000 Merits is the episode, right? Black Mirror. Y'all go check that show out. I'm gonna be making a lot of references to that show in coming videos because it's very prophetic. And that's how sick these people are. These elite are. They like to show you what's coming. They're like serial killers. You know how a serial killer kill somebody and leave a clue for the cops? That's how they are. They want to know you. They want to let you know what they're doing. They don't want to hide it. They hide in the plain sight. All these are readily available newscasts that I'm using from. This is not no obscure news. Right, Sweet 80, yeah. Haha, she said, haha, show. Right, it's a homeless shelter with great decor. That's all it is. Oh, he said, excuse me, he said 15 million merits is the episode. My bad. I appreciate that, OC, for the correction. Y'all go check that out if you got Netflix. If not, you get Netflix password from somebody. Y'all know how we do. He said, what the video is directed towards children. Sweet 80 says, everyone's supposed to be gay in the New World Order population control. And it's not even gay. Because that would denote identification. It's gender fluidity. That don't even have a gender or a sex. It's just you if you're everything, you're nothing. So that's how sick they done got it. Chimpu said, well, like 1984, the state is here in your face, wherever you look. Right. Right. He said, it depends on how much they charge for a pod, a tiny home. Right. The pods are $1,000 and the tiny apartments are $1,600. Oh, sorry about that. It's Peachy Sweet 80. All right. Thank you for... I didn't get... Okay, I see it now. I see it. I thought it was on some Steve Pachinik type. Like spelling. I'm sorry I butchered that Peachy Sweet 80. I'm sorry about that. Right, unisex androgynous. All right, so I'm about to wrap this up, but I just want to show y'all something in this last article. Everything I've covered here, everything Jay-Z said, we've seen. I just want to recap what we've seen here. Let's go back to the man's original article. Just so we can have some clarity in closing here. Mr. Sean Carter says, gentrify your own hood before these people do. And he didn't even say who people. We know who. I'm going to say it. The Caucasian Jew. That's who. That's who. But he won't say that because he got in some trouble for even saying, him and LeBron for saying Jewish people are rich. So he definitely wasn't going to go there. But he said, gentrify your own hood before these people do it. Hold on. Claim eminent domain. We said what eminent domain was when the state comes in and takes your property away from you. And have your people move in. Right? We know your people. When he says your people, he's not talking about so-called black people or even so-called poor people. He's talking about the elite. Let's keep going. He says, that's a small glimpse into what Nipsey was doing. Okay, we've covered what Nipsey was doing from the article from Forbes magazine from February 2019. How he had purchased that strip mall, how they were going to tear it down and build up a 6-story residential building to gentrify Crenshaw for the coming Crenshaw light rail line that was coming. It's all covered. Let's keep going. For anybody still confused as to what he was doing, we're not confused. I read the article, Jay. We're not confused, bro. The neighborhood designed to keep us trapped. Is the neighborhood designed to keep us trapped? Or are these plans that you're supporting designed to keep us trapped? No. They redlined it so property declines if you live by blacks. See, here's that virtue signaling. He hadn't mentioned this whole word black before he said that. Eminent domain does not benefit black people. Black people don't have the money to live in these neighborhoods once it's gentrified. But see, he had to throw, like I said, he's a master. Jay-Z is a master propagandist. Master propagandist. That's why he had to refer back to black people. They depress the assets, then take the property back. That's what eminent domain is, Jay. What you just said we should use. You hear what he just said? They depress the assets, then take the property back. Yeah, like using eminent domain. Yes. He says a ruthless but genius plan. In fact, now we fighting over scraps. Right? He says we fighting over scraps. Who's scraps? Yes, y'all rich billionaires are fighting over the scraps of the poor people. That's all they got left is scraps, and y'all fighting over it. Take every piece you can, extract every drop of blood out of these poor people. And then you move in highly intelligent people that can earn livings, and you put them in sardine boxes. Homeless shelter with nice decor, or jail cells, or these micro apartments. That's the plan. That's the plan Mr. Sean Carter was talking about. And I've laid it all out here tonight, folks. I've laid it all out here. Every detail. And I'm going to show you one thing. One more thing. This whole thing, this whole system, we've been here before. This is nothing new. This is Think Progress website. Top infrastructure official explains how America used highways to destroy black neighborhoods. And the reason why I'm aware of this, they did this in Hayti in Durham, North Carolina. They did this in Hayti. They ran highways in the middle. They ran highways in the middle of these black neighborhoods and destroyed them. As it says here, displace. Here we go. Hold on. Displaced 450,000 families and over 1 million Americans, most of whom were low-income people of color in urban cores. So this is nothing new. This is nothing new. Like I said, all this is going to be linked in. You got to share this video with your friends. They can't run or hide. I built the ultimate case against Mr. Sean Carter. And with that said, I'm going to read these last few comments. Okay. Rayco Live says, sorry, just got here. What's DU report? Okay, that's the app I'm using. I will change the name of the video. I'm sorry about that. He said, what's cracking? Just got here. Respect what you do. And I'm from the Star Report. I appreciate you coming by, bro. I can't say that. I can't say that, Pharaoh. Because it's the truth. All right. Yep, The Truman Show is another classic film. You right, OC. Nisi H, what's up? Shalom all. Peace, peace. Shampoo. He said, with the smart technology, it's like The Truman Show. That's right. We're under. As soon as you step outside your door, from your Ring doorbell to the traffic cameras to all this closed circuit cameras. At every store you walk into, you're under complete surveillance, and then everybody has a phone in their pocket with cameras on it. So we're living in a surveillance state. All right, De Niro says, is that why they make digital currency? Because the cash and gold and the Fed is overseas in debt to other countries, right? This is fiat currency. It has no value except what they deem to. It's not real money. Brenton Knight says, to hell with Jay-Z and his wife. Black celebrity is dead. Right. The black media is dead. Black celebrity is dead. The true colors is showing through. And with that said, I